It's a bloodbath. All right. So, how many hours do you usually work a week?
I shoot for 40.
That's what you try to reach.
That's what
Is 40.
try to do 40. I usually end up with 50 or 60 though.
But
Not by choice.
do you mind working them extra 10, 15 hours?
I 100% mind. I think overtime is some bullshit.
Yeah.
I think it's more important to be at home.
You think you would work more if it was double time instead of time and a half?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
So,
to me, my time is more valuable than
what you're being offered.
Exactly. I feel like it's an agreement that we went in where it's like, it's expected that I'll give you 40, maybe 45 hours a week. You know what I mean? And
minimum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, if you expect me to do more than that, you're asking me to break contract.
Yes. Even like where we're currently at, like they were like, you don't have to work Saturdays, you know, but technically now they're wanting you to work Saturdays.
Exactly. Not only that, but they required it.
And do you feel like everybody has a price? Like, are you willing to work?
Everybody has a price, but everybody also has, what is the word? Conditions. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
For me personally, I know some people love overtime. Like, oh, I'm getting time and a half. I'm making such and such a year.
Well, it adds to your paycheck at the end of the week.
It does. You know? And for some people, you know, that goes back to everybody has a price. Some people, that's their price. You know what I mean?
Or it's to me, because that's not my price. I do work the overtime because I have a certain goal that I'm trying to accomplish, and I need to get a certain amount of money. And the only way I'm going to do that at this point in time is by working those extra hours. But once I reach those goals, I'm no longer going to want to work those extra hours. Right? So it's just like a temporary thing for me. But I don't know. I mean, you got to be a specific kind of person to love overtime, or you have to have some kind of troubles at home to always want to be at work.
Exactly. Because for me personally, work is just that. It's work. I don't necessarily hate it. I don't necessarily love it. But I'd rather be at home because I do love what I got going on at home. You know what I mean? I think that's why work-life balance is so important. Because you work so much, like, yeah, I'm doing all this overtime. My check might be crazy, but your home relationships are fucked up. You're stressing out your people at home.
And in a perfect scenario, right, if you could have it your way, what would be that perfect work-life balance? How many days would you work? How many days would you be at home out of the 7 days? Yeah, if you had it your way.
Now, if you're perfect, I would not be working.
Well, okay, but if you had to, because obviously you have to pay the bills, right? So for me, there's 7 days a week. I would work 4.5, 3 days to my family, or to relax or do whatever. Work 4 days, have 3 days off.
I think that's less crazy than it sounds, because what I actually think is crazy is the fact that
we work 5, 6 and only have 5, 1.
Some people work 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying?
I could never do that.
You get, if you work 5, 6 days a week, you got 1 or 2 days to yourself. Not even to yourself, to your family.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I think people that don't have anything or don't have any, family or relationships or whatever, they tend to flourish in them type of situations. They want to go above and beyond and do this, that, and the third.
Because they don't have nothing to come home to, so they rather put their all into their career.
Exactly, and that shit is sad.
It is sad, and it's understandable if you don't have anything else, but if you let your career take over and cost you not to have anything, that's a different story.
Right, and I think a lot of times that's what happens, but then like you fall deeper and deeper into that because like I put so much into the job, whatever.
This is all you have left?
Say in that scenario, that person, they did have a wife and kids and shit like that, but they was, all in for the job, 110% for the job, whatever you want, boss, to the point where now they don't have that family life. They don't have that home life. So now, fuck it, all I got is the job.
Exactly.
So now I'm giving 120%.
But you don't think that place is like a mental stress? Like it's like, because in other countries, people don't work that much.
Yeah.
Right? It's only here in America, I believe. Maybe there's a couple other countries. I don't want to just say here in America.
I know what you're saying.
But it's like, it puts a mental strain on the person that works that much and doesn't have anything else but that. But there's also a lot of people that do not work and they don't try to better their lives.
Yeah,
in a sense.
And both of those to me, and this might sound extreme, but both of those to me seem like mental illness. If you can do nothing with your life, something's wrong with you, in my opinion. And if you can dedicate yourself 100% to something outside of your life, something, like a company or some shit like that, something's also wrong with you.
Right, but also like me and you are very similar until we both have addicted personalities, right?
That's true.
So if we're gonna do something, we do it 100%, or we don't do it at all. But I feel like you more better than me are better at balancing work in the home.
Well, the way I look at it, 100% is relative. Like I said, if our agreement is, if a full-time job is 40 hours a week, that's our agreement. So if I give you A1 work for 40 hours a week, that's 100%.
100%.
If I'm doing more than that, that's when we get into that
I see your point.
Overachiever range. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
overachieving doesn't always get you into a better position.
No, it doesn't.
I've seen it mad times before where people tend to overachieve, break their backs for the company, and at the end of the day, the company is like, well, we can't afford to move you up or pay you
Exactly.
more. So why are you doing all that for no reason?
For the company that...
Because at the end of the day, no company cares about you. You're just a number
if it's not,
to them.
If it's not yours or your family's company, I don't see any reason to go beyond what was agreed upon.
And it's crazy to think that, say you have your own company and you employ a couple people, it's crazy to think that they're going to work as hard as you or love that company as much as you do, because that's not their company.
It's stupid to think that.
And I feel like a lot of people that own companies think like that.
Because it means so much to them, so why doesn't it mean that much to you?
Well, because obviously you're not paying them enough to be fully invested into your company.
I do understand, maybe you can't afford to pay them to be fully invested, because in all honesty, you can't. That's when you get talking about shares in the company and shit.
I feel like at the same time, you can pay your employees more, but you don't, because greed takes over.
That is true.
Because at the end of the day, even if you're making like 20%, 25, 30%, you're still making a profit. And you're keeping your employees happy in doing, respectable work for you.
Right.
At the end of the day, isn't that what you want? But I feel like a lot of companies care about quantity over quality. They want to see how much they can do versus how good the job actually is.
It's kind of like, and this is sort of unrelated, but it's the same concept. Like Walmart, right? They sell shit at a lower price than, let's say, Target.
Yeah.
So they get
Myers.
Yeah, or Meyer, whatever. So they're getting less profit off the initial sale, but because they have lower prices, they get more overall customers. So at the end of the day, they're doing just fucking fine.
Yeah, I mean they're making up.
I think that's
for
kind of
the quality concept with the quantity of sales.
Exactly. I think that's kind of the same concept where it's like, yes, your profit would initially be lower if you're paying your employees more, but now you have a higher quality of worker. You have better product if you're supplying a product, better service if you're supplying a service. But, and at the end of the day, now you're top dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's principle, right? So if you only care about the money, not the image of your company, right? So that goes back to greed. You're only thinking about the money and not the quality of your work or the happiness of your employees.
I don't think it starts that way though.
No, it doesn't.
I think
you can't have a successful business being greedy from the start.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it starts that way. I think most, if not all of these companies probably start off thinking that, like, I'm going to treat my workers good. I'm not going to be like these other fucks that, fucked me over when I was working and such and such. But then once you get to a certain point, the numbers take over. And
me, like, personally, unrelated also, is like, what I always wanted to do in my life, be like kind of like an activist for like Mexican people that can't speak English, and they're like, they're going through shit, right? Like a Martin Luther King, but like for Mexican people, right? In my head, right? So this is all like, if life was perfect. But in order for me to be able to make a difference or make a change in anything like that, or make an immigration like change with all that, is like I have to put myself in a position of power and
So you can
money,
have some
so I
influence.
can have some influence. But I feel like a lot of people have good intentions and they start to get in this position
And you kinda
and you
lose
lose yourself. Yeah, you lose yourself, and now you don't care about what you were in it to begin with. Now you're just more interested in how much more power you can get, or how much more influence you can provide, or what you can do. And you just end up losing yourself. And I feel like that happens in everything. Even with your company, you start to make so much money. You're like, okay, well, how much more money can I make? And you just end up losing your principles, and you lose yourself as a person.
You think there's a way to avoid that?
I don't know. I feel like you have to be a special person to not let that take over you.
I also think you have to have some level of, what is the word? Because a lot of these, like, business owners and stuff like that, or people in general who are successful, have like this like it's never enough mentality.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what takes you to those levels. Is,
Yeah.
always wanting a little bit more. But I feel like at some point you would have to lose that to not become what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to get to a point where, okay, this is enough.
But
And I think that's kind of like a catch-22.
and we had this conversation before, right? Like with Elon Musk. You think he's just got so much money, he's bored, and that's why he's doing all these different
think
things,
he
right?
behaves like
so
somebody
do
who's
you think
bored.
he got to that point where like he had everything and like he always wanted more, but now he's at the point where he's got everything, so he doesn't want more, but he's just so bored that's why he's branching out to different.
That's what it looks like to me. Now, granted, I could be 100% wrong, but the image I get is that he's good and he's...
Well, I feel like that's the image they want you to think, and I
That's
want to
true.
believe that. I want to believe that
when
he's a good person.
I didn't mean good as in he's a good person. I mean good as in like he's set. He doesn't need shit else.
Right.
So
okay.
like now it's like, I got all the money in the world. What do you do at that point? You know what I mean? And if you have access, you have company, it's like, fuck it, let's make a car that drives itself. Fuck it, let's make a spaceship. Fuck it, let's make a tunnel or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he never really seems fully invested in any of the shit he's doing. It all just seems like hobbies.
I agree.
To me.
I agree. There's a lot of flaws with a lot of his projects, for sure. And so he's not fully invested, but he invests enough, I feel like, where it's somewhat like successful. Like his rockets, you can't deny that, he's getting these contracts and sending his rockets out and pushing shit up in space for other companies.
That's true.
Like, you
but,
can't deny that.
Also though, I think he sells products that don't exist. And I
Yes.
think that shit is so interesting. Like that fucking
Like
truck.
the Cybertruck.
People have paid for that truck, and that shit is
I
not
thought
in production,
I thought
bro.
about fucking getting like a reservation on it, because
Bro, that shit doesn't exist yet.
Exactly, it doesn't.
And,
It's
and
not
what's
out.
so and what's so
And it's been
what's so
pushed-
ill about that is that's how they're paying for it.
yeah, that's how he's getting all that money. Because how many people fucking made a reservation for that truck? How much money did he make out of that? I understand that, and like he also pushed the date when it was supposed to come into production. He keeps pushing it and pushing
And
it
he's
and
gonna
pushing
keep
it.
pushing it because that shit doesn't exist. They haven't made any of those fuckers, and they're not gonna until they hit a certain point of people
Right, but
investing or whatever.
But that's
putting
just
down a spot. Or
But that's
whatever.
just business, though.
Yeah,
you need capital to
But I think like that's
move forward.
I think that's his superpower, selling shit that doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and that's a great superpower. That's how you get rich, is selling something that's not even something.
Yeah, you sell the concept.
You're
and
just
then-
selling air. Like,
Yep, and
you
then
know.
you take the money that you made from that sale of a product that doesn't exist, and then you go make the product.
Yeah, or you go make another product that people are gonna buy, and you use that money to seed another product, but you're actually putting this product out, and people are actually buying it, and you're also making money from this product. So now you already had money that seeded from this imaginary truck,
Yeah.
and now you're selling other shit. But that's off topic. Elon Musk, in a nutshell, he's a maniac. He's a workaholic, and he's always trying to do the next thing. My only problem with him is like is he doing this to be richer, or is he doing this to help humankind? Because that's how they make him out to be.
It's either. I really don't think it's either. I really just think he's just doing shit to see if he can do it.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you if you had that resource and that money? Why?
I always said, like, if I was to win, like, the lottery or whatever, like, you know, the Mega Millions or whatever.
Yeah.
And even though I don't play this shit.
Me either.
If I had
I wish I
money,
would more, but, you know, who wins the lottery?
I feel like God knew better than to give me a crazy amount of money.
Yes.
'Cause I'm going to do some ridiculous shit.
I have that same mindset because, like, if you gave me this much money, like, I don't know what I would be. I don't know what I would do.
I know what I would do.
I mean,
And it's all stupid.
yeah. I mean, I would like to think I would be smart and invest.
Well, some of it for sure, but like at a certain point, it doesn't matter. Like if you have billions, like I don't think people really understand how much $1 billion is.
Yeah,
But really, like you could spend it, you know, spend ridiculous amounts for the rest of your life, never invest anything, and still be fine. Now, granted, the next generation, that's a different story. But it all depends on if you give a fuck about that.
And then like what is even money? Like you like what do you bring? Like this is way off topic, but it's like people put a value on gold, right?
Yeah.
People put a value on this piece of paper, and there's like this is how much this piece of paper, this green piece of paper, this blue piece of paper is worth more, and this orange piece of paper is worth less. It's like I understand it used to be backed by gold. But people also put a value on gold, and at the end of the day, what is gold? Is gold gonna fucking keep you alive? No. Gold,
you can't do anything.
You can't do anything as far as we know. But you know, I feel like off topic. Aliens came down here, made us and mined gold. Whatever. That's a whole nother episode we're gonna do. Don't worry, guys.
Call this shit off topic.
Off topic.
Just a thought.
Just a thought. It was still in the works. Everything's in the works. But back to what our original topic, which is, you know, work-life balance. To me, I'd rather work 4 days and have 3 days off because I still have to pay my bills and do whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'll have 3 days to not only rest and mentally bring myself back and spend time with my family. Right?
Right.
And I feel like everybody has a way to relieve themselves of like the whole stress they've been dealing with the whole week. Like, you know, some people may drink every day just to take the edge off, or, you know, stuff like that. But It's like anything in moderation is okay. You know, you don't.
Anything in excess is bad.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you can eat too much food, you got diabetes.
But it's like you could work out too much and end up in the hospital.
Yes. And a lot of, you know what? That's crazy, and you told me this before, but it's like a lot of people don't believe in that overtraining is a bad thing.
Bro, that shit is real as hell.
I know it is. And you're the first person.
I was in the hospital for a week.
You're the first person that told me that, and then I seen it on the YouTube video I was watching, like, because they were talking about this guy who was like, there's no such thing as overtraining, but like, there really is. You could train so hard that your muscles will start to break down. Yeah, like, bro, that's really a thing.
Literally, bro, I was at work, and we were getting ready to go back to the gym, and it was my man with me, and he's like, you know, I was like, I'll meet you up there. I'm about to go take a piss. I'll meet you in the car or whatever. I go to take a piss. That shit came out looking like Diet Coke, bro. I'm like, all right, y'all go ahead. I'm going to the hospital.
But that's all you drink, though. So I mean, that wouldn't be out of the picture for me. Like, it's just Diet Coke.
It's Dr. Pepper, actually, but same color.
Is that your preferred pop?
That is my preferred pop.
Dr. Pepper? I like Dr. Pepper. Nobody else in my family likes Dr. Pepper, but I fuck with Dr. Pepper for sure.
Coca-Cola is disgusting.
I like Coca-Cola. That's my go-to.
That shit is gross, bro.
Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper, in worst case scenario, Mountain Dew or like a Sprite.
Yeah.
But I used to drink a lot of pop, and then like I would have heartburn because I was just.
Because you're getting old.
Well, nah, just because I would drink like a 2 liter a day. I'm like, what the fuck?
I used to do that shit too.
Yeah.
What's crazy, bro? And we can kind of get into like some nutrition shit, but like,
let's do it.
I literally, all right, when I started doing the type of work that I'm doing now, I got real heavy like fast and didn't even realize it.
Oh, I did.
Bro, I was like, I looked up and I was 300 pounds, bro. And I'm like, bro,
That's-
like literally, like I think I was. It would happen like I'm getting dressed and shit. I'm like, dog, none of my clothes fit.
yeah.
I bought a scale because I never had a scale. Bought a scale, got on that bitch, and I was 299.8 or some shit,
Damn.
bro. And then I thought about it, right? I was eating fast food every day, like 3 times a day. Like at work, in the morning, I would go and get like a fucking breakfast sandwich from Tim Hortons or some shit, the hash browns and a pop or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And then for lunch, I would go to Taco Bell, get like the $5 box, got like fucking 4 tacos, a burrito, mad shit in there,
Right, right.
and a pop.
Yeah. Large,
Then,
extra
like,
large.
Extra large, because it was the same price, so I felt like I was getting ripped off if I got the small.
But did you feel sluggish?
Yes, I
Like-
felt tired right after you eat, when you feel like you need to take a nap. That shit is not normal, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, if it's a lot of calories, right? Like it just
yeah, cause
sits you on your ass pretty much.
yeah, and that shit's not normal. That's not supposed to happen. Now when I eat, I feel like going to work out, or you know what I mean, like going on a walk or some shit, cause I got energy from it.
Yeah, yeah. Because like even me, like I got into so many points in my life where I saw myself getting bigger, and I was like, man, my pants are getting tight. But at that point, when it gets that bad, and I've been there multiple times. It's like I was like, okay, I need to get myself together. I need to start going to the gym again and start working out. And I always do. And I
Well,
always
kinda
used
keep
to
it under control.
Yeah. So, but back in the day, I would always try to push for the heaviest weight, and then I would always end up with like some kind of injury or whatever. Now I'm in a point in my life where I'm like, as long as I feel good and I'm healthy,
Yeah.
that's what I aim for. I don't aim to like. Yes, I would like to be bigger and more defined, but it's like as long as I'm hitting the gym, 4 or 5 times a week, and I'm not really pushing the heavy weight, but I'm doing enough where I'm getting sore and I'm feeling it, that's good enough for me. I'd rather be healthy than to walk around like 250 like this and you can't get through no doors or you can't wipe your ass, shit like that. And it varies because genetically you're a bigger guy than me, right?
Right.
And some people say that it's harder to lose weight, or no, it's harder to gain weight.
I think it's definitely harder to.
I think it's harder to gain weight because
it's harder to gain good weight.
Yes, the heaviest I ever been was 220. I'm 180 right now.
Yeah.
And that was because I was enhancing myself, and we're not gonna discuss that. But it's like, now, even if I do get on a really good diet and I'm eating a lot of protein and intake and eating multiple times a day, it's hard for me to gain that weight. I won't push 190.
But you know what's funny about that? Because I've heard that from a few different people. And I guess it all depends on who you talk to. Because I've always been bigger, so for me, it's harder to lose weight.
Right.
I can put on weight very easily.
Yeah.
But, like, when I hear that, I always wonder if you ever actually tried tracking your food. Because you never really, like, it'll feel like you're eating a lot, but you don't actually know how much is in it if you're not tracking it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like people say, oh, I'm eating a lot of protein,
But they're not counting the macros.
Right. So you got like, yeah, I had mad protein. I had 3 eggs and like 2 slices of bacon. That's a lot of protein.
They're like, damn,
It's
how's
like,
your cholesterol?
You know that?
Nah.
But it's like, if you was to really look into it, that's really not that much protein. Let's say 1 egg is like 7 grams.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then same for the bacon. Most of that is just fat.
Yeah.
So it's like if you was to actually track, maybe that could be different. But I know people don't like to do that because it's a headache or whatever.
And also, when I was at my heaviest, when I was at 220, I was eating tuna for breakfast, like two cans of tuna with a bunch of vegetables and shit like that. I would eat my lunch. After work, I would go to McDonald's and have like 3 or 4 McDoubles. And then later in the day, I would also eat another, can of tuna. Like I was eating a lot of food, and I guess
what's
comparing to that, like I haven't been on that big of a diet now. So like, how can I really say that I can't get back to that weight if I haven't been on the same diet that I was back when I was that weight.
That,
You know, I'm not really pushing myself how I was back then.
right. You were more focused on it.
Yeah, exactly. I was more committed to it, but there was other reasons for my commitment.
Right.
And also, like, I feel like I have a fast metabolism. Like, I could eat a lot, and it's hard for me to. The only way that I would start to gain bad weight, like fat, is if I don't exercise, because I do eat a lot.
Yeah.
But I also exercise at least once a day.
Me personally, I definitely don't exercise once a day, depending on how you classify it. I don't lift weights every day. I lift weights pretty much every other day, at least three times a week or whatever. But I also, like, I go on bike rides, I go on walks, I play with the kids, I walk the dog, all that shit. That, and like, for me personally, I have to watch what I eat because, one, I love to cook.
Yeah.
And I love to cook wild shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yesterday I made like 3 pizzas.
I don't like to cook, but I do. I don't like to cook. I like to cook, but I'm not good at it. I like to cook, but I'm not good at it. But like, I try to cook to eat better because I don't want to eat fast food every day. And when I do eat fast food, I always try to, like, at least in my head, like, which one of these restaurants is healthier, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if I can shoot for a sub over a burger, I would shoot for a sub over a burger. Or a salad. You know, I'm not really a big salad guy. I do eat salads, but it's like, when I eat a salad, I'm at a Coney Island and it's a chicken barbecue salad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not really a salad at that point.
Yeah.
But I try to. I try, and I don't like fish at all. But, and you know this, I try to cook, you know, mad fish, and I do eat it. I force myself to eat it because I know it's a healthy food for me. But it's not like, man, let me just have this fish. I love fish. I love shrimp, but like fish itself is,
you know what's funny about
a whole
that?
different story.
That says a lot about your personality because if I don't like some shit, I'm not gonna eat it. Like that, and that's just that. Like, but, even because, like, I think I eat relatively healthy, whatever you want to call
healthier
that.
than me, I would say.
But if I have to make my shit good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still having like burgers.
Like, you're not gonna force yourself to eat something you don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so, like,
I feel like I grew up that I was like raised that way. Cause in my family, my mom's like, you don't waste food. You got to eat everything on your plate.
Which I think is fucked up, by the way.
I agree with you, and that's why I feel like a lot of Mexican children are obese. Because Mexican mothers are like that, because they're like, you got to eat everything I put on here.
It's black families too,
and you gotta like it.
Yep.
And that's how I grew up. So I'm like, I feel bad if I make something and I don't like it, I have to eat it because I feel like bad deep inside. Like, why am I gonna throw this away? You know, it's food. Fucking eat it. Get over your fucking self and just eat it.
I definitely hear you because it was like that for me too. The difference was I had to cook when I was a kid. Like, in my house, everybody learned how to cook something.
Just to feed themselves, like, after school
or something. You might have to make dinner that night or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just so happened to do it and like, I actually like doing this. And then I realized I'm kind of particular. My wife tells me I'm bougie because, you know, I won't just eat whatever. Like, say we making tacos or whatever, and we got everything, but we don't have avocados or some shit that I like to have with it.
Yeah.
Then we're not having tacos. You know what I'm saying? If I can't
so that one ingredient would throw off the whole dinner.
100%. It's not with every ingredient, but there's certain shit. Like, if I'm gonna have this, I want this, that, and the third with. Like, if we're gonna have ramen or some shit, we ain't got the seaweed things or whatever.
Seaweed.
Yeah. Then it's like, all right, we're not having that. But she's different. She's like, well, we'll just do it with this. I'm like, nah, it's not. It's not the same. I like to have shit how I like to have it. So that's part of why I learned to cook. So I can have shit the way I like to have it.
And for the most part, whatever I do cook, I end up liking because I feel like I make it like
cook to your taste.
Cook to my taste, but nobody else in my house likes what I cook. Nobody at all would try to dare to eat it or even taste it. They're like, we already know shit's garbage. But back to get on the nutrition topic, right? yeah, I have a beef with like not a beef, but like, and this is like off topic, a beef with vegetarians, right? So it's like,
What vegetarians do to you?
because like I never seen like a really healthy like vegetarian or like a vegan person, because they're like, they always look skinny to me, like they don't get enough nutrients in their diet. At least the people that I know that claim to be vegan or whatever, I feel like you need certain foods to keep your body balanced. And I understand
agree.
you don't want to kill animals and this and that, but like at the end of the
Animals will
day,
hesitate to kill you.
yeah, animals, and that's just nature. You
Yeah.
know, animals eat animals, and they will eat you
They
in a
talk about
heartbeat.
animals only kill for food. That's not true. Some of them fuckers will just kill to kill. A moose will kill you, bro, and it's not.
Oh
gonna eat you
yeah, he
afterwards.
ain't gonna give no fucks. But and that goes back to like, we kill for food,
Yeah,
right? Because you're eating the motherfucking animal, right? And the Indians, even like, and I'm not too versed in like the Indian thing, so I don't want to say too much. But it's like they'll kill an animal and then they'll do like a prayer or whatever, and they'll be thankful for this animal.
are we
And
talking about Indians?
Native Americans?
Okay.
So they'll like sacrifice the animal and they'll do a prayer and then they'll eat it, and it's all, you know, in good grace, because they're killing this animal, they're giving it thanks for it, and it's helping feed their family, their tribe, or whatever. And I feel like in a sense we're not like that, because everything is brought to us
We
in
don't
a
see
platter.
where our food came from.
Right, but why are you buying it? You're not buying it because I like, oh, somebody killed this guy like with a knife or shot him to death. That's why I'm buying this piece of meat. No, you're buying it because you're gonna eat it. There's no other mentality, so you're not really wronging the animal.
Right.
But I understand that like the facilities.
And the animal was gonna get killed either way.
Yes.
Whether it was,
It-
just depends on who the predator was.
Okay, even like
like-
deer. If you don't hunt deer, the population gets out of control and it will overrun everything else. So
Yeah.
there's a reason that shit has to happen, and I feel like people can't understand the realness of the world.
And it's like even you could argue with that. It's like that's only the case because we developed so much of the land so that the predators are gone. So that's why they overpopulate. But at
Yeah.
the same time, if we didn't do that, then the predators would be killing them.
But
the
you-
shit was gonna happen. One
You
way
can
or
argue
another.
anything. There's
Exact-
there's a point to and a side to
Yeah.
every story.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, like, just because we happen to be the predators in said situation doesn't make it better or worse than if it was a fucking coyote that did it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Like, we are animals at the end of the day. I mean, we're mammals. You know, that's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
We're not any different besides, you know, we have a conscience, supposedly. I feel animals have
At
conscience
least we
too.
don't eat them motherfuckers alive. I was just listening to some shit today. A bear, if you get attacked by a bear, it just starts eating you. It doesn't like kill you first.
Yeah, it just starts
Yeah,
chomping
you be
away.
alive and he's just taking bites out of you. Unlike where, like, you know, like a lion or some shit like
Yeah.
that. They'll just get you right here and make sure you're dead first.
Yeah, that's a prey mentality though. Like, it's like a bear might not give a fuck.
Bears don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but a lion would like make sure he's dead first, and then you.
Yeah.
Also, in like a lion's, it's actually the lioness that does the hunting, but once they do kill the prey, they bring it back to the family and let whoever's on top eat first, and then they spread it out, right? So they have to kill the animal first to bring it back home. A bear, he's just gonna eat because he's hungry at that point in time.
That's true.
You know, he's not gonna bring it back to his family. Maybe if he has a kid, I don't know. I don't know the
Yeah, 'cause
sociality.
bears don't have like
yeah,
packs.
I
They
don't,
might have a couple cubs, but
exactly.
they don't have like a whole.
And I don't know how the extent of how much they take care of them, because even like
No,
some,
I think they take care of them. I think that's where a lot of like
'Cause
bear
there's-
attacks come from. Because I want to say it's, and I might be all the way wrong, but I wanna
there's
say-
actually no facts to anything we're saying, but
Look it
it's
up
just
yourself.
this is to our best acknowledgement of our knowledge.
acknowledgement of our knowledge.
whatever
I'm gonna
that
put
meant.
But grizzly bears, I think, are the fucked up ones,
Yeah.
and black bears are kind of like, whatever.
What
So,
about
like,
white bears?
white bears are racist? No, but like black bears typically don't attack, and so like if you do get attacked by a black bear, you were probably near their den,
Their
or their cubs
cub.
or whatever. So
Yeah.
they are protective over them.
Yeah, and there's certain animals, and let's bring it to end, but there's certain animals that's like, they birth the animal and they leave that motherfucker there to fend for itself.
turtles, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Turtles.
It's like you leave this motherfucker behind. Like, hey, you fend for yourself. I already did my part.
Yeah.
You know, but and some people are like that too. You know, some it's
Yeah.
culturally different. Like, you know, in America, it's like once you're 18, like get the fuck out of my house to go do your own thing. In Mexico, you know, they be pushing like 10-year-olds in the stroller still. You know, it's like they really try to keep the family as close as they can,
Yeah.
and it varies with people, but you know.
That's how like Middle Eastern people are like that too. They be having like a whole fucking compound where the whole
Yeah.
like 6 generations living in there.
It-
Which I think could be
And if
dope.
I had the money and I had it my way, I would just buy a big ass house and have my whole family live in that house. But it was big enough where I didn't have to deal with them.
I always said I wanted to not have a neighborhood, but in a sense, like I want to have like a block. You
Yeah,
know what
I had that thought growing up. It's
And
like I want to
I'm
buy this whole block and
I
have my
still-
family live here.
I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah.
I almost did it when I got the house I'm living in now. Well, started it anyway. But then the prices jumped all the way through the fucking
Yeah, right
roof.
now the market's crazy. But that's for another episode. Thanks for watching. This has been Bloodbath and Tiny Tim. Shit, Tiny Tim. We murdered that shit.
I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see. How long do you think it was?